fear. In a wrong bar, can't find it nowhere. Steadily your workflow, heavily you know, so you're not stop, no time for your dear.
Now she got a 6-year-old, trying to keep him warm, trying to keep all the gold. When he looks in her eyes, he gon' know he is safe when she says, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you. She tells me your life ain't gonna be nothing like my life. You're gonna grow and have a good life. I'm gonna do what I got to do. Yeah, so rockabye, baby, rockabye.
Rockabye, rockabye.
You rockabye, baby, don't you cry.
Rockabye, rockabye.
Got you rockabye, baby, rockabye.
Rockabye, rockabye.
You rockabye, baby, don't you cry.
With a bang, bang, bang. Alright. Rockabye, don't bother cry. Lift up your head, lift it up to the sky, yo. Rockabye, don't bother cry. Angels around you, just dry your eyes. Rockabye, don't bother cry. Lift up your head, lift it up to the sky, yo. Rockabye, don't bother cry. Angels around you, just dry your eyes.
Hey, what's up, Grotto? Just getting set up here. Okay, one more thing. Alright. So I've already done a couple things. I went ahead and got my files set up. I wasn't planning on streaming this, but yeah, spur of the moment. I got a couple hours. Might as well, right? just to give you a quick overview of what I've already done, here is my DSR vehicles folder. So this is our PBO that's got all our vehicles in it. I've created a new folder in here called Helix, and what I did was I brought over the files from the data packs. The links may be broken for these, but they used to be up. Bohemia used to host their licensed data packs, which are all of the files from Arma 2 that they have released under APL and APLSA licensing for modders like myself to take and forward port to Arma 3. You can also use them as references and whatnot, but what we're using them for is actual assets. So I went into the APL, which is where all the vehicles are. I went into the wheeled folder, and what you're going to find inside, which one was it? I think it's just regular wheel. Yeah, I don't want the arm. What you'll find with some of the vehicles is they're all spread out all over the place. So what I had was Helix 1, Civil 1, Open, the covered version, and the Open. Now these are all unbinarized P3Ds. All your game files are all going to be binarized, which basically means they've gone through a process, put them into a language that the engine's able to read much better. But you can't open up binarized files using the tools that Arma's provided. So what they've done is they provided this with unbinarized versions, which are the basic versions. I can open these up, I can edit these, I can do everything I need to do to port these into Arma 3. And so I went ahead and I dragged these over here into my new DSR Vehicles Helix folder. And then there were a couple other things that I was going to need that I've gone ahead and copied over. I copied over the crew animations. I'm not going to use this crew animation file. What I'm going to use this for is a reference to edit my crew animations file that I have back here in my main page. This is my crew animations for all my vehicles, all into one file. I've also got a copy of the config. Again, I'm not going to use this itself. I'm going to create a new config CPP, but I'm going to name it DSR underscore Helix HPP. Now this HPP file is able to be pulled in and packed into a main config. This just allows me to keep everything nice and clean. I have my main config here for all my vehicles. I've got my CFG patches defined, editor subcategory, all the base information for my vehicles is right here. And then down at the bottom, I'm including all of my config HPP files for each one of the vehicles. So this basically takes the config file for the AN2 that's in here. This is the actual config. This normally would be a config CPP file, but with the DSR AN2 HPP file, I can include this config into my main config, and when it processes everything together, it includes all of my little mini configs and adds them all into the main config. It just makes everything really clean, and it's a much better way of setting your files up, I think. I can thank Nixon for showing me how to do this. I'm going to go back to the Helix. CFG Civil. This is the CFG file for the civilian version of the Helix, which is what we're going to be working on. I'm going to just reference from these when I'm making my new config file, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a config file from the Arma 3 samples, so it's got all the current information I'm going to need, and I'm going to be able to take that and just add in the information I need from here. Now, of course, I got a data file. Data file is going to include everything from my RV mats to my textures. UI images eventually going to be in here. engine sounds, animations, and then this data folder is a separate data folder that includes all the information for these damaged wheels, which we'll get to in a bit. So I'm going to go back to what I was doing. First thing I always do once I start to get everything in here is I open up the P3D, which opens up Oxygen. I go to Tools, Mass Texture Renaming. Now I've already renamed all these textures, which is why they're black. Black means that the texture path that I've put into them is correct and it can see that file. So what I've done for a lot of the stuff that was originally Arma 2 here, I'll go ahead and open up Covered, or let's see, Open. Open will work. So I'll bring the Open over here, Tools, Mass Texture Renaming. Now you see they're all red because they're still linked to the old Arma 2 CA directory. One of the first things we need to do is rechange all these paths to our new folder where that P3D is going to be located and where all of our data is going to be at. And so that's what I've already gone and done for the regular Open, which is what we're going to be starting on here in just a second. But, little note here, a lot of these RV mats have actually been updated and pushed into Arma 3. So you don't even need to include them with your vehicle. You can, but there's really no reason to. By pathing them to the Arma 3 locations, you're able to save space instead of having to have all these new files brought into your mod, however you're doing this. So take, for instance, default. Default RV mat is in pretty much every vehicle model that you're going to find from Arma 2. What I have here, what I use is it's a reference table that the Cup guys have made. That it's hosted on With6, and it's a list of all of the Arma 2 CA files that are going to be referenced in a bunch of your models that you're porting, and they're forward-ported locations in Arma 3. So what I was looking for was the default RV mat. So I'm going to paste that, and it's going to say this is the old location. CA data default RV mat. If you look at here, CA data, that's right. The new location in Arma 3 is going to be A3 data F default RV mat. So instead of putting this default RV mat and repathing everything inside of it inside of my mod, I'm just going to tell this model, don't look for the CA folder anymore. Look for A3 data F default RV mat. And I'll rename the path and you'll see it goes black. Because now it's looking into my Arma 3 directory and it's going, oh, yep, there's that file. I found it. And now it's good to go. I'm not going to save this because I'm going to redo this, but that's how you rename paths. And I can't thank the Cup guys enough. In fact, if you need this as a reference, let me go ahead and just pop that in there. That is the link to that reference page. Maybe drop the Cup guys a thanks if you ever need to use it. Okay, let me get back to what I was doing. Okay, so we've already gone ahead and we've copied all these paths, but this is only part of the battle. You'll notice all these RV mats. These are your material files that basically tell the model or the part of the model that RV mat's attached to add all these different textures. Well, each one of those RV mats, like I've already fixed this one, has multiple paths to multiple textures. So not only do you need to change the paths inside the model, but for all the RV mats, you need to go in and you need to fix the paths for all the textures that are inside the RV mats. These textures also won't be the easy ones that you see when you're doing your mass texture renaming. So like all these PAA files that you see here, that's only the main files. All of the normal maps, SMDI files, detailed textures, all that stuff's going to be in the RV mat. So you're going to need to go through and make sure that you have searched for. Now I have my old Arma 2 folder open in here, so I just use that as a quick reference, and I've searched up this file that it's calling for, and it's found it. In fact, I found 2 of them, and I would drag and drop it into my data folder. I've already got it, so I don't need to do that. But you need to go in and do that for every single one of the textures that are in the RV mat. And then when you're done, you go ahead and save it. Go on to the next one. I am currently on the second one. Yeah. So you'll see these ones still reference CA. But I've already gone ahead and copied all these files over. So now what I need to do is I need to path this to my current directory where I've got my data files at. So DSR vehicles / Helix data. All the rest of that's correct. I just need to copy this. I've already fixed this one. This metal rough detail texture, I was able to reference in that cup list. So I just referenced the Arma 3 one. I don't need to copy a new texture into here. But this V3S glass SMDI file, I had to copy over. So now I need to change the directory to my DSR vehicles. Same thing with the Autoskia. This is already in there, so I'm just going to change the beginning of the path. And this is saying, look inside the DSR vehicles PBO in the Helix folder. And inside that is going to be data. And inside that data folder will be the texture that it's looking for. I'm going to go ahead and just save that, and I'm going to go on to the next one. Okay, this is calling for the normal map for an addition to the Helix, which is another one of the P3Ds we'll be doing here pretty soon. And I'll just drag this up into here. It's already there. Replace it, doesn't matter. Okay, now I just need to fix the path, and this one is done. So what I'm going to do is just copy this, since I already wrote it. Now when you're porting vehicles over, it is a lot of copy-paste, especially at the beginning. And it can get very tedious. I just like to have music on, and I just zone out. But it's also important to make sure you're still paying attention to what you're doing. It's really easy to lose focus while you are going and changing paths because it's so basic. And you start making mistakes in your paths, and it can lead to a lot of headaches in trying to pack stuff, especially if you're not using PBO Project, which I am. If you use the Arma 3 tools to pack your PBOs, they don't have error reporting. So you can have an error here, like I can have the incorrect path to a texture here, and I can use Add-on Builder and pack this PBO, and it'll pack just fine. And then I go to get in game and it starts giving me all sorts of errors. PBO Project is great because it does have error reporting. A lot of people get frustrated with it because they just want to pack something and get in game. But I love the fact that it tells me what's wrong before I even waste time loading into game. So what I need is, let's see, armed. I don't have it yet, I don't think. Now this will be for if I eventually do an armed version, which we're probably not going to do because we don't We don't want armed vehicles in base Desolation. Oh, it's already there. But it'll be there and available if anybody wants to take the data files when we do release them, once we go beta, and make their own armed version or whatnot. Now that doesn't mean that you can't have armed vehicles in Desolation. We do not restrict anything that you can add onto the game. So say you wanted to add cup vehicles, or you wanted to add RHS vehicles, or tricked uniforms, whatever you want to add, you can add in. And we will have tutorials and documentation for how to go ahead and edit the loot fields and the vehicle spawns, so that you guys can go ahead and add this stuff in. What I'm doing right now, porting this vehicle over, same thing, let me go ahead and turn this down a little bit. There we go. Same thing with the weapons that we've ported in the backpacks. We want Desolation to be something that's kind of self-contained. So if you want, you can just run Desolation, and you can run Desolation Redux on an Altus terrain, or Stratus, or an Arma 3 terrain that somebody's custom made, and all you need to run is Desolation Redux. You're not going to have weapons, because we already have weapons added in. You're not going to have extra vehicles, because we've already got added vehicles. We want to add as much content as we can so people can just rely on Desolation Redux. But obviously we have our ideas on what needs to be in game, and what we'd like to have in game, and what we're not going to bother with. And anything that's armed, we're not going to bother with, because it just kind of defeats a lot of the things that we're doing in the game, having armed vehicles. But like I said, server owners will be free to edit Desolation Redux how they want. So you're quite likely to find servers that have armed vehicles in them. Alright, on to the boring part. Hope you guys like the music, and don't mind my my monotone voice. I don't want to put anybody to sleep. Okay, so damage. This is a damage image. I'm going to go ahead and bring up this and see if... I didn't want to do that. See if there's a reference to it. Yes, it's already referenced. It's in Arma 3. I don't need to bring the Arma 2 version over. So I'm just going to replace this texture with the Arma 3 one. Save myself some space. Same thing with this one. And then this little guy. Always use the Arma 3 one. Simply because you will save a lot of space as you're doing port work. The Arma 3 one works just fine. I've got that. Okay, so I've got them all. I just need to copy it. And then I haven't had to worry about it, but it's always important to make sure you pay attention to what kind of file it is. A lot of the old Arma 2 stuff will still say TGA. I just switch it to PAA so that it finds the file correctly every time. TGA is just another version of the textures. We'll get to the fun part here in just a second. Already got these.
I worry about nothing. I am wearing a nada. I'm sitting pretty impatient, but I know you gotta put in them hours. I'ma make it harder. I'm sending pick after picture. I'ma get you fired. I know you're always on that night shift, but I can't stand these nights alone. And I don't need no explanation, 'cause baby you're the boss at home. You don't gotta go to work, 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 but you gotta put in work, 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 work. You don't gotta go to work, 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 work. Let my body do the work, 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 work. Let's get it in motion. I'ma give you a promotion. I'll make it feel like a vacate, turn the bed into an ocean. We don't need nobody, I just need your body. Nothing but sheets in between us, ain't no getting off early. I know you're always on that night shift, but I can't stand these nights alone. And I don't need no explanation, 'cause baby you're the boss at home. You don't gotta go to work, 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 but you gotta put in work, 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 work. You don't gotta go to work, 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 work. Let my body do the work, 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 work.
Girl, gotta work for me. Can you make it clap? No hands for me. Take it to the ground, pick it up for me. Look back at it all, I'm for me. Put in work like my time, she ride it like a 63. I'ma buy a new Celine. Let her ride in the forest with me. Ooh, she the babe, I'm her boo. And she down, break the rules. Ride it down, she gon' go. I'm gon' do, she finesse. I fight blood, she take that. Put it overtime on your body.
I'm going numb, myself and your affection. I'm going numb, losing our perfection. Don't take it lightly. We could die in the moment, lost in slow motion. We could die in the moment. We won't get away this time. No, we wasted all our brighter days. So close your eyes, the storm is coming one last time. Our hope is washed away. Now I'm left to stand and watch us fade away. I watch us just fade. I watch us fade. And watch us
I wanna be the very best that no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I would travel across the land, searching far and wide. Spoken mind to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch them all with me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best.
Well, that's it for my RV mats for right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to make sure I've got this saved. Now, our first little cool part. I'm gonna open up the Helix. We're gonna take a look at it in Bulldozer. Now that we have all our paths switched and all the files in the correct location. Now this won't look exactly how it's gonna look in game. Bulldozer does not replicate all of the rendering that the Arma 3's engine has, so you're not gonna see the effects of a lot of the textures. Oh, that's right. I lied to you. I need to get a fake little config in here really quick. Go ahead and close this. I made Arma do something it didn't want to do. Well, while that's doing that, I'm going to steal the model CFG real quick. Actually, I'm going to go to test helicopter. Now these are the Arma 3 sample files. Within the Arma 3 sample files, it's going to have different types of assets, and in each one of these folders is going to be one or more examples of how to make something in Arma. I'm going to look at the test car. I'm going to steal a model CFG for the test car. Now I don't want to completely get rid of this, so I'm going to switch this to old. I'm going to paste in this new model CFG from the sample car. Now this is all set up to work for Arma 3. Let's get this cleaned up a little bit. Okay. This is a model configuration file. You're going to define your skeleton in here. You're going to define animation sources. This is the file that makes your model do things. So you get down here. This is the the wheel destruct, hide wheels. We're going to come down. These are all of your gauge clusters. Now this is for the sample model. This isn't necessarily everything I'm going to need for the Helix. I'm going to go ahead and look inside the Helix on the dashboard and see exactly which stuff on the dash we're going to use, which stuff in the config file is just not even on the dashboard. I can just get rid of it. But this defines all the actions that the vehicle is going to do. Your config file is going to define what the vehicle is, its specifics, engine power, sources for things. They both have to be set up correctly, referencing specific things inside of your actual model for it to actually work. And then we're going to get down here, and then actually, let's go back up to the top. Just going to change this really quick. This is my parent class. So right now, it's defining car as being a child class of vehicle. Vehicle is the parent class. Car is the child class. And it's saying my skeleton for my car includes all of these, what you consider the bones of the vehicle. I wonder if I'm talking to myself. All these bones are going to be defined inside the model as named selections. So we've got, the Arma 2 vehicle is going to be a little different because it named a lot of stuff different. But wheel 1, 2, unhide. That is going to be located on the driver's side back tire, right in the center. Now, it's a named selection, in the model. We go to the skeleton, and we have wheel 1, 2, unhide. It's been defined, and it has been defined as being attached to wheel 1 under dash 2. So that's just a quick, dirty idea how skeletons work. There's a whole lot more information that goes into skeletons, but this is just the skeleton for the parent class car. I don't have to do anything to this. This is all the standard stuff that is in the car class for Arma 3. Now we get down to civil car. This will be the skeleton we're going to go ahead and use for our model. So I'm going to change the name of this to DSR Helix Base. Okay. And this will include extra stuff that's not normally in the car skeleton, but stuff that is on the skeleton for my vehicle. Anything extra that I want to add on top of all of this stuff that's already defined in the parent class. Okay, now we get down to the actual vehicle. And it's going to see how it's got the different hit points defined, different sections. Body, clan sign was for like Squad XML. Animations. This is all the animations that the vehicle is going to do. All the different things that you're going to want your vehicle to do to actually work in game as a vehicle and not just a static object that moves around. What I want to do, test car. I'm going to change this to DSR Helix Civil 01. Alright, skeleton name. I need to change the skeleton name because remember we changed the skeleton name up here. Skeleton name was changed to DSR Helix Base. Go ahead and change that. Alright, and that defines the different camos. Camos are sections of your vehicle that you enable retexturing for. So I can use the same model and have different textures that define this area in red. So as you can see, you can't retexture the wheels, you can't retexture the interior. The interior is always going to be the same. But the outside is all selected under Camo 1 to work as a retexture. I'm going to get rid of Camo 2 and Camo 3 because we're not going to need them. And I don't have body. And I don't think I have carrosserie. Nope. Oh, yes, I do. I'm going to leave that. Get rid of body. Okay, now that we have this defined, I'm going to go ahead and just save that real quick. Now we need a config. Because I don't think this is going to work as an Arma 2. No, it's not. So, I'm going to rename this config old. And then I'm going to take, just to get this working, SUV. Didn't want to open that. Rename it Helix. Okay. Change a couple things in here. Model. Need to change the path for that. And then I'll be changing the names of these models here in a bit, so they'll follow the naming structure that we use. But for right now, I just want to get this working. Not worried about any of the rest of that. See if we get an error from this. Nope. So now I can go ahead and take a look at what the Helix is going to look like. Nice little clan texture there. Now, one thing I do not like, I don't know about you guys, but I never liked the wheels on the Helix. I might mess around with the SUV wheels. We have the original A2 SUV wheels that I can try out. And we've also got the Take on Helicopters SUV wheels. And so we'll go ahead and see what this is going to look like later on. I'm not going to do that right now, but I just want to make sure my textures have gone on correctly and the model looks correct. Yeah, Bulldozer doesn't look great, but it's always nice to be able to take a look at your model as you're working on it. Yeah, good old Arma 2 models. Definitely got some low textures here. I'm going to go back to O2. Let's go ahead and check out the cargo lod. Now this will be a more detailed interior version than, say, you would get from like Lod 1 or Lod 2. At least they've got the stick shifts modeled. One thing we're definitely going to have to do eventually is go through and redo these textures to try and get a little more high quality textures. Those aren't even attached to anything. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, you can see the quality of the seats covers they got going on here. You would like the wheels, you freaking Guido. Okay, now we get to do the really boring stuff. Let me go ahead and close Bulldozer. Why is Bulldozer so bad? Mike, I blame this on you just because you entered chat. I can at least talk you through what I'm going to do. each vehicle has different proxies for different things. It's got proxies for damaged wheels. It's got proxies for the driver's location. All of this links to its original location in Arma 2. Well, we need to change this now to the new locations we're going to use. Now, I am actually going to be porting over the damaged models for the damaged wheels. They're going to be located inside my data folder, inside the Helix folder. So, the first thing I can do is go ahead and change this to the location of those models within inside my DSR vehicles PBO. There. Now that'll link to damaged wheel 5, which is right here. I should have just copied that, but I'll do that this time. Okay. And then I'll just go through and I'll change each one of these to the new location. Okay, and then we're just gonna use driver 01 that a lot of them use. I'll end up switching over to the correct one here later on, but not for today.
Drives me mad. You're the best I never had, but I always had you through the night. Did I go too far? If I did, then I was wrong. Should've known this happens every time. When I thought we were just warming up, you were turning so cold.
Why did I open that? Okay, come on. Flag alone. Where did I have flag alone? There we go. Now remember me saying that this was the really boring part. Because we now have... Oh, I need cargo 01.
Yeah, you started this, took me down and I gave in. Said it's over, then you
Okay, that is LOD number 1.
promised me. Never promised.
I also have to do LOD number 2, which is actually number 3 on here. LOD number 5. Every LOD that has those proxies in it, I need to go ahead and change the proxy addresses, because when I go to pack, if I haven't changed the proxy, PBO project is going to look in that directory, the CA directory where these originally linked to, and it's not going to find that file, and it's going to fault and then give you a failure warning. So now's the fun part of just going through and copying. What I do for each vehicle, I'm going to go ahead create a new document. I'm just going to copy paste all my paths. I've got them sitting right here. Little hint, in O2, if you open up the path and don't want to open or don't want to change the path, can't hit OK if you're not going to change it. You have to hit cancel, otherwise you give an error warning. Okay, we still haven't changed driver. That's the one thing I need to change. Oh. Thanks for telling me. I was copying the wrong lot. Now, luckily for me, this doesn't have too many proxies. Let me show you something here. Oh, okay. Good thing I checked that. We don't want that. There we go. No spaces. I'm gonna open up something really quick. So I'm currently working on the MI-17s. I've got the MI-8 working. It's in game. I'm still working on the dashboard. Just the little things, working on the details, but it flies. It'll be a nice addition to the next patch coming up now that we've got the helicopters actually spawning. But you'll notice they have a lot of proxies in the helicopters, and it's in all of these LODs and the edits. It's a little pain in the butt to go ahead and port these over. Let's go ahead and get back to the Helix here. I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Hi, FCB. And keep Mike company. Okay, so now I can go to the next one. And I want to do cargo. Now, most likely, when I go to load this in game, this cargo and the driver aren't going to work. They're just not meant for this vehicle. But that's something that I'll be able to fix and show you guys at a later date using the actual positions from the Helix that Bohemia made when they did Arma 2 OA. No, we're using our own naming structure for these. So you will have straight away in Desolation multiple vehicles, helicopters, wheeled vehicles, boats. You'll have almost 20 different weapons that we've ported over, or that we've got our own weapons made and put in. We're still working on getting uniforms, but if you want to add any other weapons or vehicles pack, you just add it just like you would any other weapons or vehicle pack. And then you go into the loot files, which we'll have a video tutorial on and documentation, and you edit the loot config and the vehicle spawn config, and much like you do with an Exile server when you're setting up an Exile server for new mods. But Redux will support them all. We are sticking to our idea of what Redux should be. So it's based more on a hardcore survival that has civilian vehicles in it. It's got weapons you probably find in, you know, a lot of households, especially here in the United States. The clothing eventually will be more survival-ish clothing, but that's all geared towards our idea of Redux. But releasing the server files, we're allowing server owners to come up with their own versions of Redux. So they'll have free reign on whatever they want to do. If they want to douche it up and make a Arma 2 Epoch version of Redux, they can. You know, not that I would play on those, but you know, we're giving server owners the freedom to do what they want with the files. All right. What haven't I done? Flag alone. Okay, and then you'll notice as you get further along in the detail, like we're currently on LOD 9. It used to matter back in the early days of Arma and Arma 2 with the numbers in the LODs. These are all the visual LODs, so these are the levels of detail that you see in game. Arma 3 doesn't have that. It has built into the engine, at this distance use this LOD, at this distance use this LOD for whatever the algorithm tells it to. So these numbers don't matter, but they do need to be in an increasing order. In Arma 3, this would really be LOD number 3 or LOD number 4. The 9 doesn't mean anything anymore. But this LOD and this LOD are the two LODs you would see at the furthest distance you could see this vehicle at. So you'll notice that these two, like LOD number 13 doesn't have any of the proxies, you can't see anything. But like LOD number 9, you would be able to see the wheels if they were damaged from a far distance. But you notice you'd no longer be able to see the driver or the passenger. And that's one of the things the game engine does to save on how much information it has to pass. It's a way of optimizing. Makes it easier for me. I don't have to change out all the LODs, change out all the proxies and all the LODs, because the later ones don't have them. Okay, LOD 13 does not have, it's got the flag. View cargo. This is the LOD that you see when you are inside the vehicle. It's an more detailed interior level of detail than what you would see if you were outside the vehicle looking in. And again, this is just to save on how much data gets transferred for stuff that doesn't need to be transferred. But you'll notice cargo driver flag no longer has the wheels, because you don't see the damaged wheels from inside the vehicle. Okay, that's it for proxies for this model. Now what I need to do, I'm just going to leave this open in the background. I'm going to need to go and fix these models, because these are our referenced proxies for the damaged wheels. Again, I'm going to go use my reference chart for materials that are already in A3. Save myself some space. Yeah, I'm going to have to bring that in myself.
If I let you in, you know all the walls will disappear. Hanging by a thread till you break me down.
One damaged wheel. Just damaged wheel. Oh, I already got it. Okay. I'm going to set my path. Okay, now that you can see, I've reset the path, and the path was correct, and it found that texture, or that RV mat, in this folder. If I had entered anything on this wrong, and I'd hit rename, this would have still been red. Another little hint. All of the TGAs that are going to be in the ARMA 2 files have already been converted to PAAs. So if you search up TGA, you're probably not going to find it. So I usually just do the file name instead of adding the file type. There it is. Didn't want to open that. Okay. And make sure I change that to PAA. Yep, there we go, it found it. Save this. Now that changes the textures for all the LODs. I don't have to go in and change LODs to check textures or anything. I'm just checking to see what this actually has in it. Okay, so I go ahead and close that. But I need to do the other damage wheels too. Really, the only one I need to worry about for right now is damage 5. But if I don't change the paths on these because I have them included, when I go to do the paths, it's not going to be able to find them. Or it's not going to be able to find the paths to the textures in those. So it's better I just go ahead and change them now. Oh, see? It says it did not find it because I must have spelt something wrong here. Damage wheel 2 underscore CO. Now see, that's just odd that it's not finding that. I'm just gonna go ahead and retype it just in case. Oh, that's right. Because I don't have it in data. I just have it in data. Cut. This should be in here. Now see? Made a mistake. The tool said, no, you got that wrong, buddy. Yep, now it's black. Good to go. Save myself the time here. Okay.
pressure. I'm hands-on with effort. I failed twice before. My bounce back was special. Let downs will get you, and the critics will tissue. But the strongest survive. Another scar may bless you.
Alright, got the damaged tires done. Okay, that should be all that. While I'm messing around. Not worried about sounds. Okay, I want.
Toys when we dip in the first things first. Girl, tell me where your head's at. Are you a one-night stand or a long-term plan? Girl, listen, I ain't even trying to hear that. Here's a pen, let me put you on a contract. 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 Are you a one-night stand or a long-term plan?
Okay, and then I'm going to copy some of the sounds. We're not going to use a lot of the engine sounds because they just don't quite work in Arma 3. But actually, crash billing is going to be in Arma 3 already. I like to use as much of the A2 stuff as I can, just so it's not all sounding like the Arma 1, the Arma 3 stuff. That can get kind of tiring. You can play the mod right now. It's still in not closed. It's still in pre-alpha, which means we have a lot of stuff that's not quite in yet. We got it working, and we've messed around with it on our test server, but it's not pushed to the pre-alpha server yet. We will be going alpha in about 2 weeks on the 30th. Which will be alpha will be our initial release, where we not only release as close to a full build as we're going to have at alpha, but also provide the server files. So that'll be when people are able to start hosting. It's still going to be a very basic mod. A lot of the features are still going to be very basic, but it's a playable mod. Alpha for us means we have features in that kind of represent what Redux is to us, and you can go in and play it, and it's entertaining, and it doesn't have any major like game-breaking bugs. Pre-alpha was us taking all the things that we've been working on over the last year and a half and starting to integrate them, which is why we were closed up until like the last week and a half. As we were integrating different things, it really wasn't a playable mod at the beginning. We didn't want people to get an impression of Desolation Redux as being this broken game that didn't have any features in it. So we just had a core group of people, and that was what the closed pre-alpha testing was. We're to a point now where you can play Redux. We have guys on here that have, you know, almost 50 hours so far in the game in the last couple weeks. There's things that you could do. You can build stuff, store stuff, you can kill zombies, you can, if you're lucky, find ammunition for weapons, which, by the way, we know Mike's going to be redoing the loot tables here pretty soon, so that it's more along the lines of what we wanted for release. So it'll be a little more entertaining to play. You'll be able to find a little bit more ammo. Not a whole lot, but you'll be able to find enough to where you can actually shoot and defend yourself. But the pre-alpha that's up right now and the alpha release that we'll be releasing in 2 weeks, there's going to be a noticeable difference in the amount of content and the stuff that's implemented. The pre-alpha, we've implemented basic stuff so we could test how it works, and then what we do is once we've gotten some input back on that, we expand on it on our test server and in our files, but we don't necessarily push that because we don't need to be overloading stuff right away on the test server for the people playing. But rest assured, there is quite a bit of content that you guys haven't seen if you've been on the pre-alpha server that will be coming out with the alpha stuff. Like you've got the SUV that's in right now, and you've got a couple weapons that are in right now. But I can assure you, there's about 20 weapons that we've got going right now with their own custom ammunition. I've spent quite a bit of time working on the custom ammunition on that, trying to make it as realistic as possible. Give you guys some variation. The vehicles, we've got quite a few vehicles. You guys are going to get a taste of helicopters. We're adding the Huey in with the next patch. But you're not necessarily going to get to see all the helicopters we've got. All the new take on helicopters stuff, the heavy that we're going to be adding in. We've already got the medium in, the MI8, MI17. All that stuff will be most likely released to the public for the first time when we do alpha release. The guy from Brazil, which one are you talking about? Keegan's currently working on our public variable handling between the database and the server code. And once he gets that all ironed out, he's going to be implementing our version of a friend system. It's not going to be like people are used to from Arma 2 and Exile and whatnot. It's a system that enables us to have players add people as friends, as friendly people. Certain tiers. In certain tiers you can give access to different things. So this will allow you to have multiple people able to open up the doors, the gates, and the doors to houses if you give them permissions. Eventually what it'll also be is an ability for you to identify other players in a game where characters don't have very many visual identifiers. What we want to do is use a modified version of the character markers that are used in the rookie difficulty. If you've ever played on rookie for any reason, you'll notice that other characters in the game have kind of this white glow or green glow around them. that identifies them as friendly or independent or enemy or op 4 or whatever. We want to use that, but to a lesser degree. I don't want the brightness, the intensity as high as it is there. It will be something that's noticeable, but just noticeable, and only out to a certain distance. So it'll only work out to about as far as you would normally be able to judge if somebody was somebody that you knew. So 50, 60 meters, maybe. It also will not work behind bushes, inside buildings. It's not like it's an icon with the player's name that floats above their head and you can see everywhere they go. If that person is within your visual range of identifying and they're not occluded by anything, you'll be able to get this glow about them, and you'll be able to tell that they're friendly. If the person doesn't have the glow about them, they may not, be a bandit, but it's somebody that you don't know, so you can approach that as if it's somebody new. The whole point of doing this this glowing system with the friends is Arma doesn't really have a way for you to identify just by looking at other characters other than uniforms. What uniforms are they wearing? Whether or not that person is your friend or not. Whereas in real life, I can look at somebody and be like, that's my friend. I recognize him. Well, this is your character's way of saying I recognize that person. Now, it won't tell you who that person is. You'll still have to go and talk to that person and find out which one of your friends it is. But it is a way for you to recognize that that is somebody that you know and trust. And then along, on the same lines, the system allows you to add people onto your building items that we have currently locked, so you're the only one that can open them. You can add them onto that so they can also open doors. This will make it so you only have to have one point of entry for your settlements, that everybody that's in your family or your group has access to the doors and can get in and out, and people that aren't part of your group can't get in and out. Eventually, we're going to be adding in a more realistic approach to locking doors, but at the same time, we'll also be implementing the ability to break in and raid bases. Now, that probably won't be in right away for Alpha, but it will be in. What's up, Unleashed? Everybody, I'm Unleashed. It's made a bunch of cool shit for us, model-wise. Okay, let me get back to what I was doing. Yeah, see the engine sounds in Arma 2 are completely different to how they do the engine sounds in Arma 3. So in Arma 3, it's all based off of specific RPM ranges, and the sounds are different. Whereas in Arma 2, you've got an idle, a high, and a low. And it just doesn't sound very good when you put it in to Arma 3. I would love to use some of the Arma 2 sounds just to break up the sounds. If anybody knows anybody that knows Arma 3 sound modding, send them my way. I would love to be able to get some custom sounds to make the vehicles sound more like real vehicles instead of those shitty Arma 3 vehicle sounds. But for now, what I can do is add in some of the vehicle sounds, like the ambient stuff, like getting in and getting out. And okay, I think that's all I'm going to need for that. This will be important here in a bit. Ooh, we've got some more icons here. Now see, these are the icons for the vehicles. This is the open one, the one we've been working on. This will be the covered one. We haven't finished working on this one yet. Alright, that's what we need for that. And then animations. Did I already copy these? I think I copied most of them. Yes, I did. Okay, what I do need... I need to go template RTM. Copy that over. Now this is defining man skeleton, which is the skeleton used for armor characters. What I need to also add here is the definition for the helix animations. That's right, Arma Man. Now these are the animation poses for the vehicle. We've got a cargo and a driver for the civilian one. The military one, which we're not going to have in, also has a gunner position. Okay. We won't have explosives. What we will have is some kind of mechanic for raiding bases. We're still trying to figure that out, how to do it to make it still fun, hard, but not too hard. It's still up in the air exactly how we're going to do it. But it'll probably be with some kind of tool and some kind of action that you have to go through to break in through doors and have a % chance of it working. And of course, the tool's got to be hard to find. So that'll be coming out at a later date. We're more worried about getting the basic stuff in right now, and eventually we'll be working in all the fun stuff like that. JSRS, it's up to the server owner if they want to add it in. We won't be including it. We include everything that we could do ourselves, and we don't prevent anything else from being added in. Okay, so what this is, if you guys can tell, this is the addition of the cargo. This will be the covered version. So what I need to do is go ahead and fix these proxies like we did on the last one. What were you saying about the stolen content desolation from the Brazil guys? I hadn't heard about that. And you can see how long and arduous it is to port these vehicles over. By the time I end the stream, I'm hoping to at least have this showing up in game. It may not be working correctly, but I'm hoping to at least be able to pull it up in the editor. And then it'll be the long slog to get everything else working and the vehicle working as it's supposed to. Oh, no. The previous Desolation at one point did have an axe model in the files. It wasn't using the axe model from Exile, but it did have the axe model inside. Optics was using it to see how the axes worked and then never took it out. The reason it ended up off the Steam Workshop was because the first time it came off... oh, yeah, okay, he was talking about virus, I think. The original Desolation, Optics removed it. Then he put it back on. There was some drama with a YouTuber who tried to copy it and put up his own version without changing anything. And Optics DMCA'd his version, and then this YouTuber DMCA'd Optics' version, and Optics really didn't care about it. He'd already abandoned the mod anyway, so he didn't really care about fighting the DMCA, which is why it's not on the Steam Workshop now. But yeah, Virus Mod was basically a copy of DayZ mod in Arma 3, like the code and the assets. And then it had assets and code from other mods also. It had a bunch of Exile code. And they get caught. When you steal stuff, you always end up getting caught. And that's what happened to Virus. Yeah, Chernarus did get old. I never touched Virus just because I knew how much stolen stuff was in it. And that's not my thing. But I get what people liked about it because it was a copy of DayZ Mod with some updated stuff from Exile. Okay, time to fix some textures here. Oh, this will be fun. Pack files. Probably not going to be able to find this. Oh wow, we still have it. Pack files are old. You can download this from the Steam Workshop, Desolation Redux, and you can join the pre-alpha server. We've removed the whitelisting as of a week and a half ago. The IP is and just direct connect. There's usually anywhere from 1 to 2 to 30 people online, depending on the time of day. Although, if you're just now coming into the alpha, if you have any bugs, we ask that you put them on our bug tracker. At feedback.desolationredux.com. Another helpful tip. BizClan is in Arma 3. You can find it by looking up BizClan. But you see how it's looking for BizClan TGA. they've put PAA here in the reference file, even though it used to be TGA. So if you were to search up BizClan TGA, you're not going to find it in the cup reference chart. So just remember, if you see BizClan, just search up BizClan instead of bizclan.tga, and you'll find it and its corresponding ARMA 3 file. Same with Carflare. And you see they have clear empty marked as TGA in the A3 files when it's really a PAA. If you do this on your own, you get used to how to fix little things like that. Alright, all renamed, all black, all good. Go ahead and save this. Let's see what we've got. See if I get an error since I don't have this defined in the the CFG. Right now I am porting the Helix pickup truck from ARMA 2 to ARMA 3. Just giving you guys kind of a showcase of what it looks like. Alright, so let me go to the model here real quick. Deselect everything so that it adds the texture. And this is what our vehicle looks like with players inside. As you can see, I was telling you, the cargo proxy doesn't exactly work. I'm gonna have to find a better one. I mean, I've got the ARMA 2 one that I'll be using, but for right now, this works. So allow us to at least go in and test. But looks good. Definitely low texture. I really love to update this vehicle because people seem to like it. And then one thing that I will be doing, these will actually be working lights that you can flip on. And they'll be nice and bright. It's just such a bad texture. I don't know why. People like this vehicle. Definitely looks like early ARMA 2. Yeah, and that's what the damaged wheel looks like inside. But it'll be hidden in the real model. Alright. This one's done. And what I'm gonna do for now Thank you, Hollow. By the way, HoloLand, in case everybody doesn't know, it's another one of the excellent 3D artists we have currently working on Desolation Redux. It's got some cool stuff you guys will get to see once we go alpha. That we're gonna kind of keep in the bag until we actually release. But I think you guys will be really geeked about it. Okay, back to what I was doing. Okay, Sybil 3, I'm not worried about this. I'm gonna... This is another cool little thing that you can do. Don't need that open anymore. I keep a working folder with all my working stuff that I'm currently working on. Oh, look, crossbow. That's still a work in progress. Helix. I'm gonna drop this in here because I'm not gonna go through right now and worry about the second version of the Helix. Okay. Oh, you know what? Okay, now we get to see how bad things are broken. And then before you waste time packing, I always make sure I've closed everything. I don't have anything that needs to save. You don't know how many times I've gone through. Okay, that's something else. And spent a couple minutes packing, only to find out that I forgot to save something. Close that, don't need that. Nope. Alright. Clean up my notepad here. Alright. Okay, now, this is PBO Project, for those of you that don't know what PBO Project is. It's one of Micro's tools. Micro has a set of tools for ARMA developers that's free. I have the subscribers versions. They're basically just updated versions. The free stuff works if you just want some tools that work. I highly recommend it. Much better than what we're given from Bohemia in terms of tools. But what I'm going to do now is go ahead, select the folder that I want to start packing. My destination is already my Desolation folder in my P drive. Don't need to do anything else. I've already selected noisy output, so I'm going to crunch. What crunching is going to do is it's going to take all my files and it's going to pack them all together into my PBO. It's going to take all my HPP files and merge them where they're included inside of the config CPP files. It's going to binarize everything. It is the last step you do before you get something in a game. And with PBO project and its error reporting, it'll also tell me anywhere I managed to screw up. Yeah, Riley, what I was saying earlier. Oh, we got a failure. I'll finish what I'm saying and then we'll take a look at it. The pre-alpha server that are up right now, we're still in pre-alpha, so the server right now is on a pre-alpha build. It has the minimal amount of items in it for us to work what we wanted to test. The pre-alpha phase was us basically building the basic building blocks of early alpha Desolation. So we managed to get a vehicle in. The first vehicle that Nixon set up was the SUV, and then we've also got a couple other things that aren't the players don't generally get to use, like the C-130. But for the most part, we had one of each thing done, and we put it in game and set the different functions up that we have to a minimal basis so that the players could go in and actually test things out for us and see how they work. And once we knew they worked, we didn't worry about it. We got all the rest of the assets ready. When we go to Open Alpha, so Open Alpha is our release date, when we're actually releasing the mod to the public so people can host servers, and it'll be a full-fledged mod. It won't be complete. We still have the entire alpha phase and beta phase to finish Desolation Redux, but it is a fully playable mod. When we do that open release on the 30th, all the extra stuff that we've got right now will be included in with that. Like this next update that we have coming, we'll be putting in the helicopters. So you guys will actually be able to go in now and find helicopters. There's the UH-1H, the Huey, is in. But if you go ahead and look at what we have for vehicles. So the UH-1H is in. What am I looking at? Okay. So the UH-1H is in. There's 3 different versions of the UH-1H, but they're basically just reskins. We got the helicopter in, we knew it worked, so I haven't really messed around with it now. I mean, I haven't really messed around with adding any more in. But in my files, we've got the MI-8. We have the MI-17. We've got the medium helicopters with about 12 different skins and 3 different versions. So that's 12 times 3. That's a lot of different helicopters that you get from the medium helicopters. I still have the heli heavy to add in, which is the Merlin and all its different variants. So all of that stuff will be in with the open build. Right now, you guys have the SUV from Arma 2 and then a bunch of Arma 3 vehicles. We got the SUV done, and we're like, okay, we know how to do a car, and it's working. Put it in game, finish the rest of the vehicles. We're not going to put them in until alpha. Well, right now, we've also got the hatchback. I'm working on the Hilux. We might have the Octavia in, even though I know everybody hates the Octavia. But just wanted to show you guys, there is still a lot of content that you haven't gotten to see that will be in open alpha. So I mean, when we go from pre-alpha, which it is right now, to open alpha, you guys are going to see a big difference in the amount of stuff that there is to do. even though the functions that you guys have all been testing for us are still going to be there. They're still the same. There's just going to be a whole lot more involved in them now. So, I'm going to view output. This is my error message when I tried to pack that file. Duplicate token or class. Okay, and I think I know what that is because I copied the SUV file. Yep, DSR SUV. What was I thinking? Okay. And I just want to change the name on this also. Yeah, we're definitely going to get some errors on this when we try and load it in game, but I just want to get it to where I can load in game, see that it's there inside the game, and then I'll probably wrap up the stream for today and we'll finish this up tomorrow. I need to open the model real quick. This is defining the texture that's going to be in that camo selection that I showed you guys earlier. And then the nice thing about this is server owners will be able to set up a config and they can just replace the texture on the Helix if they want, because it's got a hidden selection texture, which is camo 1. No, I have not. Alright, let's try this again. I will be right back. Well, let me put it this way. Our vehicle doesn't have massive acceleration. I tried to make them feel more realistic than a lot of ports that you've seen out there. The top speed isn't very high. It's more along the lines of what the Golf's top speed would be in real life. There will be multiple variations. There's a front-wheel drive version, and then there's the all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive will have a bit more power than the front-wheel drive version. One nice thing about us porting these vehicles, though, we can make sure that they're ported correctly and they work correctly with our new repair system. I don't know if you've seen the new repair system at all, but the new repair system is a full-fledged repair system, much like it used to be in DayZ, but with a new interaction menu. So you will have to repair tires with tires, you'll have to repair body with sheet metal and scrap metal, you'll have to replace the engine with an actual engine. No more simple one-click fix vehicle. Alright, what'd I break this time? Cannot include file. I am including something that's not there. What am I including? Oh, yep, I don't want to include these yet. Although it's not even ACE, it's our own system for advanced interaction with objects. It's got our own GUI, it's our own code for everything. Knight Templar did a great job. Stokes McGee kind of came up with the original idea, and then Knight took it and really expanded upon it, really polished it up. Can't give enough thanks to the two of those guys for all the work that they did. Okay, now this is where I've missed a couple files here.
I don't live in my fears. I just swallow my tears. It ain't all in my head. Life is just a nightmare. I don't care if you care.
Destruct RV mat. I must have missed one.
Ain't no time to prepare. Life is just a nightmare. I don't live in my fears. I just swallow my tears. It ain't all in my head. Life is just a nightmare. I don't care if you care. I just know it ain't fair. Ain't no time to prepare. Life is just a nightmare.
Yep.
You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide.
Now see, this is all stuff that if I was still using add-on builder instead of Micros tools, I would have never known that I had this messed up.
Rap star, trap star, you can call me Black Czar. Duffel bag, boy money buried in the backyard. Rather count 100,000, you can keep your black card. Got the bases covered, kitchen cupboard where we stack hard. Spin it all, 200 on a dashboard. Every verse is like a dope dealer's crash course. Every trip another stamp in the passport. So what you motherfuckers mad for? I don't live in my fears. I just swallow my tears. It ain't all in my head. Life is just a nightmare. I don't care if you care. I just know it ain't fair. Ain't no time to prepare. Life is just a nightmare. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah, eventually we would like to replace all of the Arma 3 stuff. I don't want to have to rely on any Arma 3 assets if I can help it. So we want to replace all the vehicles. We want to replace all the uniforms, the weapons, the optics. Uniforms are proving to be a pain because we don't have anybody that does any uniform uniform modeling. But I'm still looking. That'll be something for alpha while we're working on it. Yep, it'll be released on the 30th of June. So almost 2 weeks. Yep, it'll be released in time for Malden. Sadly, I don't know if Crazy Mike's going to be able to get the Southern Island for Vortorsk done in time. They're two separate projects, but he was trying to get a release candidate ready for Vortorsk because he wants to set up a server, Desolation Redux server using Vortorsk. It'll just be the Southern Island. It's still decent size, probably good for about 30 to 40 players. But I can't wait to try out Vortorsk, man. That map looks crazy. I mean, I hate to keep saying this, but it just really reminds me of a better looking Taviana. Oh, you cuck. Wait until I say all that shit. Yeah, Vortorsk right now is, even after he finishes the Southern Island, just the Southern Island is still only about 25 to 30% of the entire map. So, what he's got right now is the Southern Island's blocked out for the most part. He's got the major stuff just about done. He doesn't have the fine detail work. That's going to take a bunch of us getting on and doing a bunch of object placement over the course of a few weeks to really finish up the southern portion. Yeah, Mike's a crackhead. He just went straight at it for an entire month. Alright. As you get more and more vehicles and more assets added in, binarization can definitely drag on. Hopefully it doesn't get to the very end and then fail. Let's see.
Now I know what's going on in your head, yeah. I know what's happened here in our bed, yeah. The phone is buzzing, so pick it up. I know she calling, so what the fuck? Should've known a cheat stays a cheater. So here we are. And there goes the alarm ringing in my head. Like somebody said, don't you trust him? No. Texting from his ex, what did you expect? Now you're lying here, knowing where he
Alright.
goes. Now we got that.
So, what this means is that the file pack, don't let this fool you, that doesn't mean that everything's going to work. It just means I'll be able to load it into game. Quick little thing that I can show you guys if you ever do decide to use micro tools and do your own work. This, I just found out about how to read the bin log and how to edit it. This shows every error that comes up while binarizing your models. A lot of this stuff is things that I need to filter out because they have no effect on the models whatsoever. These are just errors that Arma had, that Biz had when they originally did it. Like, sum of weights. Doesn't matter. Has no effect on anything that I'm doing here. But it's definitely a great reference tool if you want to go back and look at it. That is how you optimize models. You go in and you fix all those little errors that you can, and make sure that when the game's reading your model and running it, it's not throwing anything that A, the server has to log, or B, that messes with the operation of Arma. So, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to, where are we at? Add-ons. Okay, I want the C-Maps, Common, Arma 3, and my Desolation folder. This is my test Desolation folder, not the real Desolation. I'm going to put this up here for now. And I don't need this reference anymore because I'm done working for the day. So I'm going to go to my P drive. This is the Desolation folder. This is my working Desolation folder in my work drive. I'm going to go here, find my new DSR vehicles that I just finished packing, and I'm going to copy them and paste them into my game Desolation folder. Now, I can go ahead, make sure I got the mods loaded, and my jumping game.
Ashamed on how you've turned your back on me. Please tell me why'd you go this far, and who the hell you think you are right now. Never mind the love, we've messed it up now. This place is full of dust, surrounded by the illusion of a friend, dear friend of mine. Where's your self-defense? Tell me, do you feel ashamed on how
Let's see if we managed to get this in here correctly. Does not look like it. Looks like I missed it. I think I know why. But while we're in here, might as well show you guys a couple things. I don't know if we have the boat spawning right now, but that's our little dinghy. This is our reworked fishing boat. You see we've added the seats in the back, and then we added, you know, some nice little detail onto the side of the boat. And then this will be the raft that you get to craft. Make your own little boat. You guys don't normally get to see this, but this is your airdrop. That's the C-130 that we use. These are the Hueys that'll be coming in next patch. So you'll be actually able to get these and fly them. This is my latest project. Need to work on my land contact, but once I load into game, that'll fix itself. Yes, they do. And then we will be adding more skins onto the AN2 when we're in alpha. But let me I'll just give you guys a quick look-see at these. We won't have any mounted guns, but we will be installing turret positions. If that dumbass in that helicopter in that plane flies into one of these helicopters and blows it up, I'm gonna be pissed. But I've been messing around. Say hi to my co-pilot there. Messing around with the little things inside here. Got those working today. This, I think, will be the one helicopter everybody really wants. It's the luxury medium helicopter, which is just an updated. So yeah, turn your volume down. Still need to work on the shadows, but I know what that is. that haven't seen them, these are the SUVs that Nixon ported over from Take On Helicopters. You'll notice that the interiors are a lot more detailed than the Arma 2 ones were. What we don't have, which is too bad, was the windows rolled down. Maybe eventually, but it handles and rides a lot better than the other ports that you've seen out there. Oh, please don't. Okay. Thought it was going to put me in the back. The detail on this isn't the greatest, but it's the hatchback. Everybody loves the hatchback. Yep. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap things up for this stream. You will eventually be able to hide in the trunk. It's not set up right now. Alright, it's about time for Big Ben to go to bed, because I work at night, so I'm tired. But, thank you guys for sticking around, watching the stream. Hopefully you guys learned something watching what I was doing, or at least were entertained, got some good information. But, if you guys like these, let me know. I'll go ahead and I'll do some more of them, so you guys can see as we're getting some more stuff done. But definitely keep your eyes out for June 30th. Desolation Redux will be opening up live for everybody. Server files will be released. We'll push the big update then also. Hopefully don't have to do too many hot fixes for it. And yeah, I hope this thing really kicks off and blows up like we think it's gonna. But until next time, thanks for dropping by. See y'all later.